Uh,
Welcome back to the Voices of Dreamers podcast, where we share the inspiring stories of people turning their dreams into reality. I'm your host, Lupe. I'm excited to hear more about their journey, how they've stayed motivated and overcome obstacles. Today, we will be having Edmundo Cruz joining us, and he will be telling us his story of what it has meant to be a DACA recipient, a dreamer. Welcome back to the show. Welcome,
Thank
Edmundo.
you. Thank you. It was nice being here. Finally.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and start. The first question that I like to ask is if you remember your story of how you came here and how old you were.
I do.
Tell
I
us.
let's see. I when we came over here, I had turned 7. So we originally came here from Cuernavaca, Morelos, in Mexico. And we ended up passing what was it? Through El Paso. Like
Oh,
the way we passed, I mean, of course we weren't without inspection, like majority of people. But I do remember that it was actually easy. It was the easiest out of everybody, my our family that came later. It was the easiest way for us because I remember there was two guys. One guy had it was two guys in a little boat, like a little lanchita.
yeah.
And then one of them was swimming and pulling the boat, and then the other one was pushing, like rowing.
Oh,
And it
it's
was
like you see in the
literally like,
movies almost.
yeah. It's like yeah, like somebody just going from one side of the riverbank to the other, and that took about 10 minutes. And then we were going up, and there were some, it was just some like steel. It wasn't like the big fences that you usually see,
Yeah.
like near San Diego. It was like cattle, like
Oh,
that had the yeah, like that. So we just went across
wow.
and literally got in a what was it? It was like a 1990s like F-150. It was like a cab and a half, and then from there, as we were driving, I still remember this to this day. As we were driving away, I guess immigration had caught somebody else because there was like 4 immigration vehicles just passing by us. And yeah, then the guy took us to a hotel or motel, and I remember that my mom had given him like more than enough money, and she told the guys like, "Hey, can you go get us a pizza?" And I remember he came back with a loaf of bread, some mayo, and some bologna. Like that the one with the red plastic
Oh
like
my
that.
God.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that was my first American meal,
Oh my
a bologna
God.
sandwich.
How crazy. And really
Um,
Americanized with the mayo, huh?
yeah, Americanized with the mayo. No, no, no mustard, no cheese. It
Right. No
was just the bologna,
lettuce. Yeah.
no lettuce, nothing. It was
Yeah.
just a sandwich. I'm like, welcome to America. Here you go, first
Wow.
bologna sandwich. Uh,
Wow.
yeah. And it was at the time it was me, my younger sister, and then my youngest brother. And at the time he was a baby. He had turned 1.
Oh my God.
So yeah, after that we spent a couple days in in the hotel room then until they came and picked us up. And I remember we ended up driving through I-10. So you get we got to see all the whole time. I got to see, we were kids. We got to see everything. Like it took us about a day until we had arrived over here to Florida.
Okay.
And at the time, yeah, it was around October 1999, like mid October 1999. when we arrived, and where we arrived was a it was a camp like for field workers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where they the so over here I don't know how they do it in California, but over here a lot of the farmers here they have like little housing for the employees. So that's where we ended up. We ended up in a like
Working in the
maybe
fields.
yeah, we were working in the fields, and then like the place we had there was we had 2 rooms, 3 rooms, but maybe the place was 400 square feet altogether, like 400, 500 square feet, and yeah, it was weird because not even a week after we started going to school. Like we were walking to the elementary school,
Your little
and
backpack.
oh yeah, little backpack, and I mean not knowing anything,
Yeah.
just walking with everybody else.
So you knew
Um,
at that moment, like, we're not going back?
yeah. Well, our so the our goal was, or my parents' goals at the time was like for because my younger brother had a heart. Was it uh I forgot. Whenever they have like the hole like on one of their on their heart, I forgot what it's called, where it regulates his heartbeat.
Okay.
Um, but so that was one of the main reasons we came here to the U.S. So my younger brother could get healthier, and then from there, the original plan was my brother to get healthy, and we were gonna go back.
Okay.
And then yeah, and then it became to, oh, we're staying here until you guys graduate high school, and then you guys are going to college over there.
Oh,
Yeah, to to you know, essentially we stayed here, and I mean everybody has their own life. My younger brother graduated college already. My sister, well, she's starting her own company,
oh my God, how
and she
exciting.
yeah, she does accounting.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. So
There's a need for
when
them for sure.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but my younger brother did computer science. He studied
Wow.
computer science. So they're both working on trying to start like an accounting firm where instead of using accountants from here in the US, they're going to be using accountants like third party type of deal.
I
Like
love that.
say yeah. So they don't have to do most of the work. They have somebody else they can rely on.
Yeah.
So
That's smart.
essentially, she's gonna become like a contractor type of deal.
Yeah. I love that. Look at
Um,
her thinking outside of the box.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and like I said, my younger brother just graduated from college. So and right now the computer market,
Literally
all
is.
those tech jobs, he graduated at the worst time,
Yeah. Oh
unfortunately.
my God. I
So
feel like there's still such a need though.
there is, I mean, and he says it, it's like everybody went to do like the AI, and now they're finding so many issues with it, and they don't have the people to
Yes.
actually fix the issues,
I
you
can see
know.
that. Yeah. I think I've heard a little bit
And
about it.
so like right now he's waiting. He's applying to every type of job. It also doesn't help out much. I mean, I know there's some DACA recipients that do work in tech,
Yeah, that's
but
true.
it's way harder because a lot of the tech companies do require some sort of national security.
So he's probably encountering some kind of
Yeah,
roadblocks.
so he's getting a lot of roadblocks right now trying to find a job, something that he can do.
Yeah. You know what? He's
Because
got
I'm
that diploma.
well, that's what I told him. I'm
Yeah.
like, I told him, I'm like, listen, get a job for a year, save up all your money that you can, and I told her, I'm like, go to Mexico. I'm like, you already have a diploma. Your diploma, it's a U.S. certified diploma, which means it'll work out anywhere in the world. And I'm like, what are you doing here? Just not being able to get a job where you can go get a job somewhere else.
Yeah. It's probably hard to think of
I
now for him to be like, oh, like leave my family behind, maybe.
well, yes and no.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the youngest. I'm married. My sister has a kid, so like for I mean, I'm working on my things, but for him, he doesn't even have a girlfriend.
Oh, okay, okay. So you're like,
So
what's
it
holding you
would be a
back?
lot. It's yes, and then like both my parents right now are doing a U visa process. So I mean, if
Uh,
it works, yeah, if it works out for them, then they have residency, meaning they can go back and forth, you know.
That's gonna be
And then
exciting.
if he gets, yeah, he's gonna be banned from the U.S., but there's the rest of the world. It's like I tell him, I'm like,
So true.
you I'm like, if you stay here, you're kind of free. You're free to do a lot of things here, some things. If you leave the US, you are truly free because then you get to go anywhere in the world. And you already know English, you know how to speak English. English is the business language of the world. You'll be fine anywhere you go.
Yeah. I feel like for some, it's like easier said than done because, especially since he pretty much, he was 1 year old when he came here. He was still like a baby. So this is like
Yeah.
the only place he's known. So maybe it's kind of hard to take that leap for him to be like, okay, I'm gonna leave everything behind.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So it's
That
kind of
that
scary.
that's really true. I mean, the only one I would but yeah, yeah, I can see it. With my sister, well, like I said, she has her kid here, so and she's separated from from my niece's father,
Yeah.
so it's like she can't go anywhere, unfortunately.
Right. Kind of stuck.
Yeah, and then with me and my wife, I already applied. Well, yeah, I turned in all my paperwork for the permanent residency
Oh my God.
2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks
Stop
ago.
it. How exciting.
It was it was actually a lot more nerve-wracking. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people don't
Yeah.
realize like how bad, like how stressful it is,
Yes.
you know? And especially now I know now, with Trump, trying to becoming president, a lot of people are doing like the advanced parole, but when I did it last or this past year in February, like I applied September of last year, got it in February, went to Mexico, but they had only given me, yeah,
How was that? Oh my God.
it was,
I know we're getting sidetracked, but that is so cool. Like, how did it feel?
it felt like, how can I, like when,
Like when you got the letter and it said approved.
oh, well, oh, yeah, when I got the letter, I was scared. I'm like, okay, I got it. And then I was thinking, I'm like, what if they don't let me come in? What if they don't let me
Oh
come
my
in?
God,
And then I
right?
was
Like your
freaking
next fear.
out. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta go. I have to go. We have to do this. So, my wife drove me to the Orlando airport because that's the only one that and Miami airport are the only ones that fly to Mexico at the time. So, and we were about 3 hours away from the airport, so we had to wake up like 3 in the morning because my flight was they tell you to be there at least 4 hours ahead of time. like if it's an international flight. So we get there. I pass through TSA, and there are and like now on TSA they take a picture of you, and then they do your fingerprints, and like it's a whole shebang.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
like they'll take a picture of your face for recognition,
Wow.
and like I said, they do your I think it's your thumbprint and then your index finger,
Yeah.
and then they let you go. So I'm like, okay, I made it through TSA. Let me go to my gate, and I brought a book, and I brought a book. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be reading, and as I'm right there sitting, like literally border patrol agents came and sat like a couple seats away from me. I'm like, oh my God. And then in my head I'm like, they got me. I'm
Yeah.
going. But I guess they were looking for other people because I mean I just kept reading my book,
Yeah.
but that got me nervous.
My God, for
Then
sure.
they ended up leaving with they ended up getting somebody, and then they left. And so I got in the airplane. It was about a 4 hour flight.
Yeah.
And as soon as we got to Mexico, and like you can see the land on the beaches and everything, the mountains,
But did it
something
feel?
inside of me, something inside of me broke. It's like I started crying.
Oh,
Like I wasn't full on crying, like
yeah.
bawling, but I was crying because I'm
Right.
like, I feel like I'm at home.
Oh my God.
But
Oh,
at the same time, like I've been here in the U.S. for like was it 32, about 25-ish years, 25, yeah, 25 years. So it's like I feel like I'm at home, but I know it's not home.
like that little part of
And
you when you were 7 still.
yes, yes, and so we get to Mexico City. You get to the airport, and like even though I had cried and everything, it didn't hit me until, you have to go through the international line, and you're thinking, I'm like, and then you see this long line, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna be here at least 2, 3 hours. No, that was the one for the visitors. So if you're not a Mexican citizen, or yeah, just a Mexican citizen, even if you're just a Mexican resident, you have to go through the other line.
Oh, okay.
So I go through the Mexican citizen line. It literally took me 2 minutes. And they asked me where you coming from. And then I'm like, oh, I'm here to visit my grandfather. And then I give her my Mexican passport, and she's like, bienvenidos, compatriota. Bienvenidos a la tierra madre. I'm like, that hit me so hard. I'm like,
Yeah. Oh my
oh,
God.
I feel wanted here.
Literally, like
I
you're welcome back home.
Yes. And I waited for my bag. And then we passed through their version of TSA, and then right off the bat, my grandmother and my uncle were waiting for me there. We got on the bus,
How
you
was
know.
that, seeing them for the first time?
Well, my grandmother has a visa, so she comes over here at least twice a year.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, for the past 10 years or so, she's had a visa.
Oh, that's amazing.
So my uncle, last time I saw my uncle was when because he's younger than me. You,
Oh,
you you know
okay.
how it is in Latino households, like
Right.
they still having kids. So
Literally.
so yeah, I mean, last time I saw him, he was a baby.
Yeah.
So now seeing him as an adult, I'm like, oh my God,
Like, wow.
you know.
Yeah.
So we got on the bus, and then from Mexico to Cuernavaca is a 2.5 hour drive.
Oh, wow.
but you're going down the mountain. Yeah, because you're going down the mountain.
Oh,
Because a lot of people don't realize Mexico City is about 5,500 feet up in the air.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's about the same range as Denver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, going down the mountains, it's like you were going maybe 40 miles an hour, 45, you know, and we got there. And just the smells, like you're in Mexico because it smells. It smells different. It smells like when I went, there was still drought. There was drought, but still, it looked like how. Well, I mean, kind of how I remember it
Yeah.
because everything looked different. Like I remember how to get to my grandma's house, but
Really?
everything around, yeah, it was a lot more civilized
Yeah.
than when we left.
My goodness.
And yeah, we got there. We got on a in a taxi, and what a lot of people don't realize is that over there everybody drives like the subcompact cars, like the little hatchbacks,
Oh, okay.
like a Honda, yeah, like a Honda Fit or like a Nissan Versa.
Yeah.
So the first predicament I got when I got over there was I'm 6'2",
I was gonna say you're a little tall.
so yeah, I'm more than a little tall. So
Right?
everything over there, everything's made for short people
Yes.
over there, including the cars. So when we got inside the taxi, I got in the taxi. I'm in the front.
Yeah.
I'm sitting down like a
You're
gargoyle,
like scrunched
just
up.
like yeah. And I got there during the sunset, so I was seeing, as we were driving, I just kept seeing the sunset of the mountains and everything, and just it was beautiful. It was yeah. I
So
got to
awesome.
go. I got to go to my grandfather's house. Um, and their house is where they're making a new colonia.
Oh, okay.
Like so, like they're like the first houses there. So imagine it's just a mountain, right? So there's no lights. The only lights is their house. So you're able like, and his house has big windows, super big windows that you can open.
Yeah.
You can see the. Yeah, you're okay. You're fine.
Yeah, I haven't had to disturb. I don't know how that one got through. Okay.
Yeah, no, you literally were sleeping under the stars in Mexico,
Clear
and it
skies.
was clear skies,
Wow.
and it was actually humbling. It was really humbling because like everybody here in the U.S. has issues, but then you go to Mexico, and I didn't. I was only over there for about 3 days, 3.5 days, because the time that USIS gave me was literally it was literally like a month, and when I got the letter, a week had already passed by.
Stop it. Oh, so they like also time the time that it takes to get you the letter?
Yes,
Oh,
but I
wow.
think that was on my lawyers, because I did get a lawyer to do the application.
Oh my God. I've seen some
You
people
know.
that they do it by themselves. I'm like, "Ugh, I can't even trust to fill out the DACA application every 2 years."
Oh, I do the DACA
Yeah.
applications
Oh my God. I don't
myself.
trust myself.
Not only for me, but I do it for other people too. Because a lot of
Yeah.
people is like, oh, I paid a lawyer and blah blah blah. I'm like, give me if you have like,
If
because
you
the
have like
lawyer's
the
supposed to
copy.
give you a copy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, most of the time, well, 9 times out of 10 is like copy and paste. It's the same. They just change the wording a little bit, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Um, especially online. Online was a lot easier.
I
Last time I
just
did
learned
my,
that.
yeah,
Yeah. The last girl
it
told me that you can file online now.
you can, and it literally took me about 30 minutes or so. and that was with me taking my own passport pictures because on the online one you have to send passport pictures. So I mean I took the pictures. I grabbed my phone. I grabbed my tripod.
Yeah.
I went on a white background, took my pictures, and then there's a website. It's a U.S. government website where
Okay.
you can check if your passport picture actually fits the criteria, and then you can use them.
Smart. Okay.
Yeah. So instead of paying like the 18, $20 for passport pictures, you
Literally.
know, but yeah, no, it was humbling because I saw that a lot of people over there with the little amount of money that they have thrive, like they thrive. And also like I felt a little bit ashamed too because I my mom has always been like a worry wart. So she told me like don't take out your wallet, don't take out your phone, watch your surrounding,
Yeah.
this and that. And like oh they're gonna steal from you. They'll know you're not from there. I'm like I know they're gonna know, but it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And even the homeless person had a better had the brand new iPhone
Yeah.
at the time, just laying
Oh.
there. I'm like, I told my, and then when I came back, I told my mom, I'm like, Ma, I'm like, your way of thinking was from 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not the same thing. Everybody has their phones out. Everybody, you know, you're still paying in cash. Like from where I'm from, it's it was like a mixture of different eras.
Okay.
It's like you have like some colonial stuff in there, and then you can add the 80s in there. You have yeah, some of the 90s is mixed in there, the 2000s. It's like
Like a
you
time
can barely
capsule.
see. Oh, it's like a time capsule. It's like the land that time forgot type of deal,
Yeah.
where it's a little mixture of everything, you know.
Wow.
And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Um, I didn't get sick, so you know how a lot of people say, "Oh, I got the Montezuma."
Oh
So
yeah, like they say not to drink the water.
yeah, I was drinking the water. I was like
You're like, give it all
washing my
to me.
teeth. Yeah, well, see, what a lot of people don't realize is that you don't have the same gut bacteria as you do over there. So whenever like I and after I came back, I told people I'm like before I left, like 2 weeks before, I started eating a lot of yogurt, a lot of probiotics, a lot of food that was
Good
good
for
for your
you.
gut bacteria.
Yeah.
Because then once you get over there, yeah, you don't have the same gut bacteria, but you have more of it where it's gonna be able to break it down. It's gonna be a lot easier for you.
Oh, smart. You were like, I'm getting
Yeah.
physically ready.
Yeah, because my grandmother even asked me, she's like, we've been noticing you've been drinking the water from the house. How are you not sick? I'm like, and then I told them what I did, and they're like, oh, it's like nobody ever thinks about that. I'm like, I think about that.
Get out. I
Yeah,
was ready.
I planned it out.
Yeah. Like I've been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Yes,
Right? The last
yes,
thing
I
you
feel
want to
like
be is sick.
yeah, yeah, no, and I think the best food that I tasted over there was a ice cream cone. It was about that big, and like the portions were small, they were tiny,
Yeah.
you know. And there was strawberry and like a vanilla. But like the vanilla was like a golden yellow color. And it had a lot of cinnamon.
Yeah.
It had a lot of cinnamon and a lot of it tasted like rompope. Like vanilla rompope.
Okay.
And like but it was so concentrated That like at first I'm like, oh, I can eat it one bite and then I'll be done. But as soon as I taste it, I spent 30 minutes just,
You're like, let me
enjoying the
savor
flavor.
every bite.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh. Do you
Oh,
find
it
yourself
was
like missing it? Do you crave it?
I do.
Yeah. Are you like, oh, I wish I
I
had a
do.
little bit more of that ice cream?
I wish I had a little more of that ice cream or just like the food in general because it has a different taste.
Yeah.
It's a whole different taste. It's like,
More fresher.
oh, it is. Yeah. Because everything's made the day of.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. That is amazing. I've been wanting to do it, but I don't have like a good reason and I don't want to risk it.
yeah.
So I'm just like,
No, I mean, if, I mean, because I know right now there's supposed to be like a report to check if anybody intervened with the elections. I mean, if it ends up that Trump didn't win,
yeah,
and Kamala ends up saying, "Oh yeah, like advanced pro can keep going," my suggestion would be go for it, do it, do it, do it.
yeah,
Because then, like, if you came in without any inspection, and I mean, and if you don't have any orders of deportation or anything like that, I mean, I'm no lawyer, but
yeah.
just trying to cover yourself, it's gonna help you out. Because what my lawyer said, as long as you can get that I-94 paper stating that you came in lawfully
That legal entry, right?
through advance parole, that legal entry, you're good.
My goodness.
So, and you go from there.
Amazing.
But yeah, I would suggest going, even for you can find, yeah, even for like exchange or something religious, or just
Yeah. I just want to feel like I have like a strong case, like I don't want it to get denied because I hear like they won't refund you. Like if they
no,
deny
they won't.
you, you're out of luck.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the same way with advanced parole though.
Yeah, true.
They can tell you at any point in time, they're like, yeah, we're gonna deny it, we're gonna stop this program.
Oh my God, true.
You know,
Yeah,
it's the same concept.
yeah,
Plus, yes, it's a risk that you're willing to take,
yeah.
but the reward that you're gonna
Oh
get,
my
it's
God,
a low risk, high reward type of deal.
that's true. That's true.
Because then if they deny you, then you can always reappeal
Oh, okay.
and then turn in more evidence, so on and so
Yeah,
forth,
yeah,
and then go from there.
yeah. Oh my God.
So I mean, I suggested it to everybody.
Yeah, you're like, do it. Go for it.
Everybody, just go do it.
Yeah.
And people didn't believe me. It was like the first time when Obama said they were doing deferred action. My dad. I remember I was working at a packing house, and during the summer we have to, as part of the maintenance, we have to go and sand like the refrigerators down, and they have to get repainted due to Department of Agriculture specs.
Okay.
So that's what I was doing. And when my dad comes, running, saying, "Hey, they're gonna do something about the immigration thing," and I'm reading, I'm like, "Oh, okay." And
How old were you when you heard of that?
I was a 20. I was 20.
Yeah.
I was 20 because they came out in 2012,
Yes.
2014, right?
I think it's 2012. I'm not sure. I want to say 2012.
20, 2012. Yeah, it came out in 2012 because he was trying to get elected back into the presidency. Yeah, or that was or was yeah. Obama was running against Romney, Mitt Romney.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was 20 at the time. So like as soon as August 15 came, I'm like we applied that same day. I had everything already because the months before they had given what you needed. I had all of that ready. I'm like, okay, let's go, let's do this.
Yeah.
And I remember all of my family saying I was crazy for doing that.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was.
No.
They're like you're just giving out the information, your parents' information to the government, and they're not gonna do anything about it. And you're like what you're doing is wrong and blah blah blah. I'm like I got nothing else. I at that time I burned myself out of college. College I was doing pre-med, but at the same time I was working about 80, 90 hours a week plus full-time school. And yeah, so I ended up burning myself out. So I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I got nothing else to lose. If
True.
they deny me, well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I remember it took 4 months, 5 months, and when my card came, I was crying.
Yeah.
I'm like, cause I'm like, I can't believe I can actually go and work and
Get a
and
driver's
yeah, and
license.
get a driver's license and everything. And yeah, I showed everybody in my family that I'm like, see, it was real. It's right here.
Yeah. What did they say?
And no, they didn't believe it.
Yeah.
To the point where it took everybody else about 2 years for them to get there. So by the time I was renewing mine, they were doing theirs.
Oh, wow. So a lot of them still didn't even do theirs.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of people didn't do there.
Oh,
And
wow. Because of the fear
and
of it, like they were telling
yes,
you they're gonna have all your information, all your family members' information.
yeah. But
Wow.
like my thing is, the government already has everybody's information. If you have an ITIN number, if you have, social, they know where
Yes.
you're at,
So true. Yes. Great point.
you know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, either you take the chance that they're giving you, or you don't get anything, and the government still knows where you're at.
Very true. That's a great point. Yeah. Yeah, because they do already. Yeah, when you get that I-10 number.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you're
they
doing your
have all your
taxes.
information.
Yeah. So true. Yes. Oh my
So
God. How
yeah, that
exciting.
was
Were
that
you
was that
like,
was
bye
fun.
guys?
Um, yeah, from the packing house, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're like,
I remember I'm done here. Let me go find a better job. Because I remember at that year when I got DACA, I had only made about $15,000 working that year. So like we were getting paid what was it? It was like 7.25 at the time, the minimum wage. So from there, I went to a company where they used to make like ergonomic machines
oh, okay.
for like factories and whatnot. So I would assemble them, I would learn how to fix them, and then whenever they used to they needed a technician to go to like different parts of the country, I would be going.
Wow. Look at
So
that.
so that was fun.
Yeah. It
I
opened
mean
up
they
some
they they didn't. What's up?
it opened
Sorry.
up like new things for you.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. It helped me because my dad's a mechanic.
Okay.
So that's like, and he started doing mechanic work since like middle school allá en Mexico.
Yeah.
So like, so growing up, he's like, you need to have a trade with you in case, you don't finish college or anything like that. So I already had like mechanic experience. So And with that ergonomic company, it helped me more with learning how to work with hydraulics, how to work with air timing systems, you know. And then from there, I left that job because I wasn't making as much as I would like.
Yeah.
I
And
was making I it doubled like from like the 15,000, it was like 30,000. I'm like, okay,
you were like, if
I
I
think
can
I can
hit
do a
this
little
mark,
better.
I can make more.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to a heavy machinery, like Caterpillar type of like a private construction company where they have Caterpillar machines
Okay.
and like diesel trucks, like
Yeah.
uh dump trucks and semis and whatnot. And I started there at 1350.
Look at that. From
So
750.
from 750 to 1350.
Yeah.
And then I just worked my butt off. And when I left there the first time, I ended up like within like the 2 years that I was there, it was like a $10 difference. Like I was making 2350 when I left. And then from there I it's been going up,
Yeah.
you know.
That's so amazing
So,
that you weren't like, okay, I'm already, making double what I used to make, and you settled at that. You were always looking for growth.
oh yeah, no, like my end goal is, if they do give me the residency, you know, my end goal at the end of the day is I want to have a prosthetic company. I've always been, I've al I got diagnosed with autism, and like to me, I've robots, like robot
Yeah,
animes and just anything like that has always piqued my interest.
I love that.
So, like the main thing it's that caught my attention was prosthetics,
Yeah.
because I feel like they could be made cheaper and more available to the people that need them,
Oh, for sure.
but they don't do it.
Yeah, no.
And also depending like on the age that the person has is the lower the quality of the prosthetic.
Really?
So like for example, if somebody's gonna get like that leg joint by the hip.
Yes.
So the older you are, the less higher quality it is. So like if you're a young person, they'll put a smooth ball. Like the replacement is
Yeah.
smooth, so it lasts longer.
Okay.
But they take a lot more time. But say if you're somebody that's 60, 70, 80, it's a rougher cut. They don't put as much time into it because they're like in their head like this person's gonna pass away, this person's gonna die. So there's no point.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, and then they're still priced out the same at the same amount.
stop it.
So
Wow.
that's why a lot of like the older like individuals say
Yeah.
like some like a baby boomer or somebody, they tend to get infections afterwards because it's a rougher cut. So
Or they
you're
go in for like
damaging more.
multiple surgeries. I've heard that too. They have to go in and fix
Yeah,
it again, which I would
yeah,
think in the long run you would want to give them the better one.
you would think so too, but then that takes time from actually doing the ones for the younger people.
Wow.
Like you're if you cut out a step, you're saving money too. But
It's
yeah, so
amazing.
right now I work at a construction company. I work out in the field, so that's my office. I get to see the greenery, the
Yeah.
scenery.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing. Way better than being, in a little cubicle.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, because I've seen the engineers work, and as much as I like I said, I want to be an engineer, but I would hate to just stay in the office.
So cool.
But yeah,
You have all these dreams and aspirations. I love it. You're not
I
just
I
like,
do.
oh, I'm okay with just, having my DACA
Yeah, no,
and my job and
I can't. I can't. I mean, I've always known that I've been undocumented ever since we got here. Ever the first day we got here, I've always known, and I've seen both my parents work their butts off. So for me to, just come to this country and say, "Oh, this is all I'm gonna do. I'm just happy about this," or how a lot of you know, a lot of other people, I mean, I'm sure you've seen that a lot of the deferred action recipients, they want to do something against, saying, "Oh, Trump wants to give us citizenship and Trump wants to give us that," but then in my head, I'm like, but how about our parents? How about the reason we have deferred action is because the
because of them.
first
Yeah.
wave of dreamers, the first wave of individuals that were here that could not get DACA because they were aged out of it, they're the ones that worked for it. And they're the reasons we have uh deferred action. And they didn't get it. I knew thousands and thousands of people that didn't get it, but they fought for that for us. And then now and now all these people are saying, "Oh, well, we gotta give papers to DACA recipients first, to Dreamers first, and then we'll figure out everybody else's." To me, that's like a slap in the face because the people that were fighting for us and never got anything, I think it's time for them to get something too. You
That's
know?
true. Yes. That is very true. They are the first dreamers. That is so true.
Yeah, we would be considered the second wave of dreamers, not even the
Yes.
first.
Yes.
You know?
So true.
Like
Yeah.
some of the people were barely like I knew some people were barely like about to turn 30 when DACA started, so they were actually able to get into it.
Yes.
But there was a lot of them that could not.
Yeah. That age number, right? Because you couldn't do it if you were like over 31 or something like that.
Yeah, over
Over
31. So
30.
like there was a lot of people that caught it, but there was another good chunk that did not. But they fought for that too. So like I hear a lot of or I hear certain TikTok people, and they're like, "Oh, maybe just us dreamers need to get it." Like, and then we'll figure out everybody else. I'm like, last time something like that happened, the
Yeah.
reform happened,
Yeah.
was
True.
during Reagan. That was during the 80s. That was 40 years ago.
Literally, yes. That was the last time there was a immigration reform was 40 years ago. Yes.
Yeah, like was it in 86, I think? 86, so about 38 years ago. So a lot
Wow.
of these kids don't realize that it's been 40 years ago when we were about to have something, when it happened. So I agree. My parents work hard. I know a lot of, undocumented individuals that have dreamer kids also work hard, and they should be, not only that, but they're getting at that age where they're not going to be able to work anymore, but they're not going to be able to get Social Security either,
Yes. Yes.
you know? And for like the younger generation saying that we got to protect ourselves first and then them,
It's kind of
I I
greedy.
yeah, I disagree with it.
I
I
agree with that.
wholeheartedly disagree with it because like how there was people who that were older than us didn't weren't able to get deferred action. There was also younger people than us
True.
that did not get it either. That had no chance. And they did everything that they were told to do, and they could not apply for it. I have cousins that couldn't apply for it because they were just too young for them to apply for it.
Mm.
So
Hopefully, they also bring back where they will accept new applicants.
I hope so too. I mean, I
Hopefully.
know like all the the cousins that applied and then they stopped accepting, their applications are still in the works. They're in there, but they never they only got the like the receipt paperwork,
Yeah.
and that was it.
That must
So
have
it's
been
just
so
like in
heartbreaking for
limbo.
them, no? To be like, oh, we were so close.
Yes, but no,
Yeah.
because the yes to the younger ones,
Yeah, for sure.
because they wanted the same same rights as we had,
Yeah.
and no to some of my older cousins that decided to do everything at the last minute.
Oh,
Like they had 10 years to get, or at the time 8 years to get their GEDs, and they chose not to get them. So when they started doing their GEDs, and the day they were gonna take like their final GED test was the same day they said they weren't accepting any new applications,
stop it. Really? Oh,
or any new application that had
yeah.
gone through, they were gonna have it there. So it kind of messed them up too.
Yeah.
But that was more their fault because they didn't do what they were supposed to.
Yeah. We're kind of like a little bit of procrastinators almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tend to do that a lot. I'm guilty of
But
that too.
I think that's more of a Mexican. You're Mexican, right?
Hmm.
So it's more of a Mexican. Oh, lo hacemos cuando lo hacemos.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Because
true.
I'm like that too. It's something that I'm trying to break away from.
Right. Yeah. Trying to be a little more prepared, a little more organized. Yeah. And
Yeah,
I'd be like, oh, that can get done later, later. And then later comes and it's like, it's too late.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then you're just freaking out, like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
You know?
Trying to get all this stuff together. Yeah. Oh, that must have been so sad for them to be like, darn it, for them to have realized, oh, I procrastinated, waited till the last second, and now it's too late.
Yeah,
Yeah. You
yeah.
kind
That
of
was.
you kind of touched this a little bit where you were saying like your experience of growing in the US as a DACA recipient. So you kind of touched a little bit on it about how it was growing up being a DACA recipient. Where you said
Um.
like once you got it, you were like, yes, like I'm gonna get out of this job, go look for something better. You were always looking for growth.
Yes. I'm the type of individual that, like, I'm not saying I'm greedy, but I want more.
No, for
I
sure.
I
And that's kind of like what your
I
parents brought you here for, no? For a better life.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
I want to thrive. I want to thrive. I want to, I've I've never done anything that I shouldn't be doing, you know. And so and like I think it's more of a sense of acknowledgement than anything. I want to be acknowledged by people, saying that, oh, I made it. If I can make it, I made it. I'm here. I'm able to do, like, you're like, I want to tell people, like, you're able to do a blue collar job, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't want more in your life.
Exactly.
You know,
True.
doesn't necessarily mean you have to act the Mexican stereotype where,
Yeah.
like it like
Bless you.
the Edgar, thank you. Like, how they have like the whole Edgar culture, and
Oh
like
yeah.
with the bob cuts
Yeah.
and everybody's dressed the same.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you're like, I want people to acknowledge the fact that, yeah, I am Mexican. I want a better life. I'm not trying to take anybody else's job, but at the same and I mean, I've even told people because they tell me I work in construction. I work with a lot of redneck people, a lot of them. It's not that they support Trump, is that they don't know any better.
Yes. Yes.
So, and one thing that I've seen with like Democrats is the fact that they tend to use big words, or they see somebody from a what you may call it, individual, and they'll look down upon them. So, especially here in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but I want to show people that you're able to be your individual self. You're allowed to be yourself and still be successful and to thrive, not to survive. Because every I feel like every undocumented person, any migrant in general, whether they're here legally or illegally, like we know how to survive. I want to get to the thrive part. I want to thrive. I want not only me, but I want my fellow DACA recipients to thrive. But at the same time, I want them to hold their individuality
Yes.
because a lot of them, I feel like once they make it, like for example, my sister, would say, "Oh, my name's Diane Jardines." I'm like, "No, you're Diana Jardines." You know,
She's more acclimated, do you feel like, to like the
yeah, she's a
American
lot more
culture?
acclimated. Yes, yes, but like she has to do that because she works in the offices. You
True.
know,
She's a corporate girly.
she is a corporate girly. You
Do you
know,
feel like a lot of us, like you said, like we live in the shadows? Like, do you feel like um maybe that kind of holds us back, like in wanting to pursue something better and be more like authentic or like show up as yourself?
I do. I do. Well, not only that, but I do believe like the school system, or you know, they don't tend to help out a lot with undocumented people because I mean, here in Florida, my mom, because my mom always taught us to speak Spanish. So we would like at the house we would have to read in Spanish, we would have to write in Spanish, we would have to, speak in Spanish. And in school you have to speak English.
Yes.
So I do remember, the teacher telling my mom that she needed to stop teaching us Spanish. And so like that's the first strike of where they're trying to take your individualism
Yeah. Yeah, true.
away,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
denying you part of your culture, where you're able to speak in the language that you're more comfortable in. And I mean, my mom laughed it off and told the teacher like to mind her own business. Pero
Yes,
there,
girl.
yeah, yeah, there's a lot of families that don't,
Yeah,
you
true.
know.
Yeah.
And since we're always in the shadows, we don't tend to teach our kids. Well, most of us don't tend to teach our kids. Oh, you got to go to school.
Yes.
You got to go to school and then become something better than what we are. A lot of us, a lot of them teach you. Oh, you're already grown up. Go find a job. Vete a trabajar.
See, yeah. Very
Go to
true.
work.
Yeah, they're just like
Oh,
they're just gonna graduate, get that diploma, and start working.
start working.
Yeah.
And a lot of people they tend to be afraid to go travel. That's another one, traveling around the area. Like with us until me and my siblings turned 16, 17, 18. And especially when I got my car. Like I bought a car like I was undocumented. I bought my car
How was
because I
that?
had to drive.
Yeah.
That So I bought the car for my friend. It was $900. It was a manual car,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
and then my parents didn't know anything about it because I had mentioned, hey, I want a car, and they're like, no, you can't have a car because of the same thing,
Yes.
we're under the shadows. If the police stops you, pulls you over, they can take you to jail, and then you go, to immigration.
Yes.
And I'm like, but I need to go to school. I need to head to school. So I mean, I went to school. I hated. I bought my car, and then that Saturday, I told them like, hey, I need to talk to you guys, and they're like, what? Like, I need you guys to put me in the car insurance. I'm like, here's the title and everything.
Yeah.
They're like, you're not allowed to be driving. Why did you get the car? I'm like, listen, you guys are busy. I need to keep going to school. You
Yeah.
know, I'm gonna drive myself to school, and my
Who
parents were
taught you how
always
to
like, where are
drive?
you at? My friend did, cause
Wow.
like yeah, he had another manual car, so he's like, okay, I'm gonna teach you. Got 30 minutes to learn. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
So
Stop it.
so we went to like a back road,
Yeah.
cause before they started building all over the place, like you were able to go to the back road to Florida, and you would see maybe one or two cars in an hour passing
Okay.
through that road. So you had a place to learn to drive.
Nice.
So, it took about half an hour for me to learn or so.
Wow.
It wasn't, and then from there, I
You're like,
started
set me free.
going. Yeah, it did set me free
Yeah.
because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go with my friends to Tampa
Yeah.
because it's about an hour away, and then I'm like, okay, we're going camping to Gainesville or near Gainesville, which is like another hour away, so it's 2 hours away. And then it went to like, oh, we're gonna go to Orlando because they used to do street racing. So I'm like, and then I'm like, if I get caught, I'm gonna get caught, so might as well, not thinking there was gonna be like a
Yeah.
DACA or anything
Yeah.
like that. I'm like, it is what it is.
Yeah. You know what? I
I
love
mean,
that. That's so cool of you that you were just like, you know what? Like, I'm going to live my life regardless. I'm not going to be living it scared that something might happen because you're like living it in the
yeah,
moment. You're just like, I'm going to, if I get pulled over, I get pulled over, But
I mean, yeah, it's one of those.
you're
It
like, I
is
will
what it
take
is.
care of it when it happens.
Yeah, and
I,
I'll let future me deal with it.
yeah. Yeah.
Luckily I never did get pulled over.
Amazing.
So and then from there it just it became to I ended up getting what was it? My DACA. I ended up getting my driver's
Yeah.
license, so I would like my parents felt a little bit better. And
Did
then
you
from there I just
feel
started going,
So sorry. Did you feel any different like once you were like, "Oh, okay, like I'm legal now."
yes.
Did you feel any
Yeah, so
different that first
whenever
time?
Oh yeah, no. Whenever I used to drive and I didn't have a license, I was always paranoid that I had a cop behind me, and it got to the point where I got good at knowing which cops, if there was cops near or if there was an undercover cop, because there's like little subtle differences in the cars.
Right? Like the lights?
Yeah, like certain lights, like some SUVs, like the cop cars over here in Florida, some of them that are undercover. You'll know they're undercover because they don't have the railings for like to put stuff on the top of the car of the vehicle. They don't
Yeah.
have the railings.
Oh, okay.
So and then like once you start looking closer, you get to see the lights. But for the most part, if like the Ford Explorer doesn't have any railings, that's a police officer.
Oh.
Yeah. So we went, you know. And from there, I just started going all over the place. And not only that, but then I would take my younger brother with me, and then I
Yeah.
would take my cousin with me. You know, at the time they didn't have any papers. I'm like, we'll be fine as long as we don't go this area, we'll be good.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
then from there, you know, my siblings started getting DACA, and then we decided to drive to New York City.
Stop it. Really?
Yeah,
Wow. How was
so like
that?
from Florida, that was that was fun because
Yeah.
we ended up stopping at Washington D.C.
Wow. How did it feel? Like, did you feel anything like being there?
Oh, it felt weird,
Yeah.
you know, and I mean, I kept making the jokes. I'm like, oh, we're here undocumented, and we're right next to the White House, har har
Right?
har, you know. And you would think, oh, there's gonna be immigration here, there,
Right.
you know, because you're near national like buildings,
Yeah.
like the IRS building is there, and then so no, there was nothing there. People minding their own business,
Yeah.
people walking like nothing. Um, have you ever gone to Washington D.C.?
The only place I've ever traveled is just to Tennessee,
What part of Tennessee?
Nashville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the only place
Okay.
I've ever traveled to. Yeah.
Well, if you ever have the chance to go to Washington D.C., I would suggest it.
I want to go
And like
there
especially
in Philadelphia.
uh yeah, Philly
Because doesn't Philadelphia have
Philly
like a
is a
lot of
little
history?
they do. Not only that, but uh where they used to have the Italian market now is Latinos taking over those shops
Oh,
and
wow.
opening them. So like and like, if you ever seen Rocky, the first movie, and there's a scene where he's running, like
Oh, up the
before
stairs?
he gets to the steps,
Yeah.
yeah, he's running. That used to be the Italian market side. Now it's more like Latinos taking over because a lot of the Italian American families don't live there anymore.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
So like we're slowly filling up, you know, the areas where the previous immigrants were
Oh, that
located
is
in.
so crazy. That is, oh, that's amazing to see.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's the same thing in Queens too. You know,
Yeah.
you used to hear a lot. Oh, there was a lot of African Americans here. No, it's like a new wave of immigrants comes in and takes over after the old wave passes through there. So it's it's like a tradition
Yeah.
almost type of deal,
It
like a
almost sounds
rite of
like it,
passage.
right? Yeah, it sounds like it.
So. But no, it was fun. We stopped there. We got to go inside some of the Smithsonian museums. So that was fun. Most of well, all the Smithsonian museums are free. So
Oh,
they even have like an indigenous uh, American museum. And I do remember they were building a Latin American museum too.
oh, that's cool.
So I'm excited about that. Pero the best one is the natural history
Yeah.
because when you're walking in, they have a an Olmec head.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, so you like you can go to it and look at it
yeah.
and feel the volcanic rock and everything.
Oh my God. How
So
cool.
that was fun.
Yeah.
When we got to we got to New York City and the first stop was Chinatown.
Really?
That the food was awesome.
Yeah. How did your cousins feel, like getting to see all this new stuff?
Um, they love it
Yeah.
because like me and my siblings started with the traveling, and then everybody else afterwards, you know, even the ones that didn't get DACA,
Yeah.
like afterwards started traveling by themselves, and they started seeing like little places here and that. And it opened their mind a little more.
That's awesome. Maybe they
So
saw it in you, they were like, "You know what? He's living. He is not letting this, hold him back."
yeah, I
Like
maybe
you were like
maybe
a little
yeah,
bit they saw
they
like a
used to
little
call
bit of hope.
me. I mean, I hope they did.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, because then I guess from there my family just split. So like now we're in different parts of the country.
Oh, wow,
You
okay.
know, so everybody found like their own little place. Like I got family up in Michigan, I got family in Oregon, I got family in California, all over California.
Yeah.
So
How cool.
so yeah,
That's exciting.
yeah. So it just so anyways, going back to the driving part
Yeah.
that you were asking. Yeah. Oh no, as soon as I got my driver's license and I'm driving and I see a cop, I'm like I mean I usually tell them, F you or like you can't get me now,
Right.
haha, you know,
Literally.
like I'm untouchable.
Yeah, you're like, "Pull me over, please."
Pull me over, yeah, like pull me over, man.
Yeah. I love it. It's just
But
like such a
yeah,
load
no,
taken
it
off.
feels yeah,
Yeah. Even though it feels like you were probably like calling it in, already because you were already doing it. You were
yeah,
already
but now
driving. Yeah,
with
yeah.
that, but it's like a get out of free jail
Oh,
card.
for sure.
It's like
Yeah.
here it is, man.
Right.
You know, because
So true.
I did get pulled over one time, and that was because one of my backlights, you know, the bulb broke,
Oh,
and I always carry extra bulbs. So like when the cop was about to give me a ticket, I'm like, "Excuse me." He's like, "What?" He's like, "Can I go back there and change the light? I have extra lights here." And he just looks at me. He's like, "You got extra lights?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll change it right here." So I go and change it. He's like, "Okay, here, you can have a warning." I'm like, "I'll take it."
how cool. I love that.
So
Just prepared for anything.
just prepare, just
Yes,
prepare.
yeah. He was probably so in shock to be like, "What? You really?"
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because at the time I was I was working at night, so like afternoon
Oh,
to
okay.
night. So it was like 1:30, you know,
Got it. Yeah.
in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the whole trip.
Wow. How cool. That is a good story that you were like, "Oh, I got it right now. Let me just change it out."
Yeah, I'll fix it now, so you
Yeah.
guys don't have to give me a ticket.
Yeah, literally. You're like, "We don't even rip it off right now." Okay, let's see. In Florida, you guys have a lot of policies with immigration. Does it scare you?
Um, doesn't scare me. But it does scare me for my family members some of my family members who are undocumented and they're still working here. Some of the some of the friends that I do have, they're still undocumented, and even people that I do know, they're still here. Um, yeah, I do get scared for them. I really get scared for them, and I'm always, trying to see what I find or if there's a rumor or, if say they're you're if I'm passing by X place and I see a border patrol, you know, border patrol
You like notify them not to
agent
go by there?
somewhere. Yeah, I tell them not to go through there. Or I usually post it on Facebook. It's like, oh, immigration at so and so exit,
Yeah,
southbound, so on and so forth. You know.
that's cool.
Um the county where I live in, there it's like It's 50-50. It's a Republican county, but the cops, I mean, so far they haven't been as bad.
Okay.
But I do live like close to Polk County. That's I'm sure you've heard of the sheriff Judge Grady or something like that. He's like a super Republican um sheriff.
Okay.
And yeah, no, that county there, that it's one of the racist counties. You know, that you don't want to get pulled over there. Even if you have like if you are documented, but if you're brown, they're gonna find a cause for you to,
Yeah.
for you to go, because there is a lot of there's a lot of sundown towns here, especially
Really?
here in Florida too. Yeah.
Wow.
So you have to be careful where you're passing through.
Do you think
So
that's
that's what.
scary for like you said, like for some of your family members or some of your friends that you know that are still don't that are undocumented?
um I think that they're more used to it
Yeah.
than more than anything. They know where to go, where not to go.
Yeah.
You know, um, I do explain to them, that Border Patrol essentially has a, like, what was it? I believe 100-mile radius
Oh,
where
okay.
they're able to get people. And Florida's it's a long state, but it's thin.
Okay.
So you can literally go from one side of the state
For the other one.
to the other within like 3 hours,
Oh,
maybe
wow.
less
Yeah.
if there's no traffic. So that 100 miles, it's is the whole state. So you're essentially they can put you anywhere in the state. But I do tell people, if you're gonna go somewhere, don't go to like the small towns. Don't like either take 75 or take 95. Take the highways, because that's you won't get pulled over there. But if you start taking like the back roads, or like the state roads in the middle of the state, then you have to see where you're at, and you have to know how the police is. Because I mean, there was one time I got pulled over. It was a wrongful pulled over too. Um, at the time I used to drive a white car, and the police uh, did pull me over because I guess they had gotten a tip that there was a white car going to be passing by around the time I passed by that had you know, had some drugs on there. I
Got
believe
it.
they had like, what are the two little packs of like Coke, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
So they pulled me over. They searched my car.
Yeah.
They saw there was nothing there, and I mean, it just so happened it was by a McDonald's. So I'm like, okay. And they were pulling every single white car, like
Oh, wow.
that a white car with a brown person. And they finally
Okay.
did catch they caught some kids.
Oh my
You
goodness.
know,
Yeah.
it was two Hispanic kids driving a white like Crown Victoria,
Wow.
and they were transporting drugs. So I'm like, so yeah, it kind of gets scary. That's why I tell people, it's like, always be careful to your surroundings, and always look at, try to do research,
Yeah.
especially, I tell people, is like, a lot of African American publishers make like the Green Book,
Oh, okay.
where where it tells them which town you can go to, which towns you shouldn't be at, so on and so
Yeah.
forth, like a sundown state
Yeah. Yeah, I
town.
just learned about that like maybe like a year or two ago about sundown towns. I didn't know that they
Yeah,
still
no,
existed. or was
Oh,
still a
it's a
thing?
thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It also happened to me in when I was a technician that I had to go to the Mercedes plant, to the section where they make like the seats and everything for the Mercedes cars. I had to go fix a couple machines, and I got there. I got to what was it, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and the desk person there, she was African American. I got there and and she asked me, "Hey, do you have anything to eat?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I'm gonna go grab something." She told me, "He's like, I don't think you want to go outside. I think whatever you can get from the vending machine, you should just eat that. Just eat from there and don't leave."
Yeah.
And me being stubborn, I'm like, nah, I'll be okay. So I ended up going. I remember I went. To get to the motel, I had to drive through like a curved road. So I'm driving there. It's maybe 11, and then from far away there was somebody was burning, like it looked like a cross, like bunch of. So I'm like, oh, this is what she meant. I'm like, well, I'm still hungry. I'm already getting to the city, so
Yeah.
I stopped at the Wendy's, and everybody kept looking at me all weird, and even one of the workers he's like, I can't help you. So somebody else, and she's like, oh,
Stop
I'm
it.
sorry, blah blah. I'm sorry. She doesn't know better. This, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like I didn't think of it any weird. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
you know. I guess that lady had called somebody because as soon as I got back into the to my car, driving back to the hotel, I started seeing people following me. So I had to have my GPS, and then like it literally, like it took me about 20 minutes to leave the hotel to the Wendy's. It took me nearly 2 hours to come back into to the hotel because I was just driving around, because they just kept following me for 2 hours.
Stop it. How
So it's
scary.
yeah, I'm like okay, I should have listened to the desk lady. Desk lady saw me come in. She locked the door. She's like, and she saw me all like startled, and she's like, you saw why I met, and I'm like, yeah. So like as soon as I finished the job there, I left. I'm like, I can't do this,
Yeah, that
you
is
know.
so scary. I wonder why she didn't elaborate. Do you think she knew, like she knew that you knew what she was talking about?
She thought that I knew what she was talking about, but I hadn't put two and two together.
Wow, that is so scary. Like, did you feel like you were being like almost like persecuted? Like you were being followed for 2 hours? Like how scary.
Not
Maybe that's not the word,
not
but
person.
like like how many people were following you? Do you remember?
It was three cars.
Oh my god.
Three cars, and the only thing I was able to see, because most of the areas that I was going through, it was night,
Yeah.
so I couldn't even see what kind of cars they were.
Right? Yeah.
You know, I was just following the GPS and seeing which way I was able,
Yeah, like
to
to
go
get.
through because I didn't want to go through like a uh, dead end road, and then I'm screwed.
Yeah, true.
So
Wow.
that wasn't fun. That was I was I did get a little concerned from there,
Right, for sure.
but
Yeah. How
but like
scary.
I said, yeah. Like I said, I did the job, and then I started driving back.
Yeah, you were like, I'm leaving
But that's
now.
yeah, but that's how like the what is it? The arm, like the wide part of Florida,
Yeah.
like all of I-10. That's how it is too. It's like little towns. Like all of that's rural.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of people tend to think that way through those little towns.
Isn't that like kind of mind-boggling? Like we're about to be in 2025 and there's still people stuck in that kind of mindset.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I've met white men younger than me that don't even know how to read or write. Like like, and I mean, I even told him, I'm like, I've never thought that in a first world country I was gonna find somebody younger than me that didn't know how to read and write. And it's scary. It's all scary. It's scary at the fact that people, like they're not doing the research. They're just whatever anybody says is what they hear and what they think is true. It reminds me of like turkeys, because turkeys, like whenever it rains, turkeys tend to drown themselves. So they feel like the water drops, so they stare up, and when they stare up, automatically their beaks open. So since they're staring up to see where the water is coming from, the water is going into their
Yeah.
beaks
Yeah.
until they get so much water, and then they can't breathe and they drown themselves. So mm, it's scary.
It
It's
is.
really scary,
It really is.
and it doesn't help much that you try to help a lot of the Latino community, and just because you're trying to help them out, because you know I've always been an advocate. Whenever there's always been like an immigration reform, I've always, I've gone to like if there's gonna be like a march or if they're organizing, I've always tried to go. And it's hard because a lot of Latinos, like if it's anything immigration related, they won't go to it because they think it's gonna be like immigration is gonna be there. Like they tend to be afraid. So they go and they close themselves off to the point where they don't what you call it, they don't get to learn anything from it.
Yeah.
Because I've tried multiple times uh to like make a session out of it so I can tell people what their immigration rights are. Like in case ICE ever comes to the door, what you shouldn't do. I've had lawyers and like application and taught people how to prepare DACA applications
Yeah.
and whatnot. And people don't show up because as soon as I go and post it on like on the Facebook groups where everybody like the Latinos communicate with, they're like, "Oh, don't go. Immigration is gonna be there." Like
What?
yeah, yeah, they'll go. Last time I had I had a couple lawyers where they came to talk to people. I had the DACA prepared, to do the applications.
Yeah.
I had somebody who could help them try to make a resume, like if they were computer savvy, you know. Um, I had was it like a lawyer that specialized in like starting businesses
Wow. That is so
for stuff,
amazing. Yeah.
I had a restaurant that donated food. I had a professional photographer to get people their headshots, and maybe two people came.
Stop it.
There was gonna be at least a couple hundred people, and then just because one of them said, "Oh, immigration is gonna be there, don't go," two people came.
Oh my God. That is so
So
sad.
like, so it's like I see it with Americans that they don't want they want to be ignorant or they just listen to the first thing that people say, but I also see it from our people too. Because they're like you said, they've been in the shadows so long that they feel like anybody that's trying to help them out is actually trying to harm them.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I feel like you don't really see it where people like Latinos are trying to help.
Yeah,
Like
no,
like
you
like there's a very small group of people like you that are offering their time to help, like something, to fill out somebody's DACA application or to help them, get a headshot for a resume, like something like that, which it probably took you so much time to get these people
yeah,
to come.
yeah. It was a 4 month process,
Wow.
and I mean, it didn't come into fruition. Like
Yeah.
people did not show up.
Yeah. Oh my
You
God. I
know,
hope
I
that
mean,
doesn't like stop you from doing it. I hope you really,
no, well,
yeah.
I ended up changing the way I do it. Like
Okay.
if somebody that needs their deferred action or their advanced parole paperwork done, I usually, I ask them if they have a copy of their old work, because it's easier for me, and then I usually go through it and put all their information,
Yeah.
double check it,
So you do it like
and
more
then
on one now.
I do it one on one
Yeah.
because it's much easier that way, and people feel a little more confident, you know.
Yeah, they feel more at ease maybe than doing it like in a big group.
hmm
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so and like usually I get it done within like an hour, so they have their paperwork. If I have a chance, I usually try to take like their passport picture and then just tell them, oh, I sent it off to like Walgreens,
Yeah.
you know,
Just go pick them up.
go pick them up and
Yeah.
then turn in your application. You should be good to go.
Yeah. That is so
Um,
amazing you do that.
like it's easy peasy.
Yeah.
It's not hard, you know.
I'm just reading too much into it.
Yeah, no, that's how it was the first time.
Yeah.
The first time I spent 6 hours double checking and quadrupling checking everything. And then I do remember in one of my previous applications, I ended up I made a typo with my name, or they made a typo with my
Oh,
name.
okay, okay.
But everything worked out, like everything else worked out. It was on their part.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And like even now with like if you have an online account, like an immigration online account, it works in your favor too.
That's cool.
Because you're able to check like your application statuses on there.
Yes. True. Yeah, I made an account, but I've been having problems logging in, so I should probably like reset my password or something.
Yeah, yeah, because it's a pain in the butt. Like if you lose your password and you can't reset it, you have to call immigration and they have you there. Like it took me 4 hours or so.
Does it really?
Yeah, it took me about four
Wow.
hours because you have to wait for a level two representative, and then they have to send you an email, and you have to do it
With
right there
them?
and then with them, and it was a pain in the butt.
So one thing to take from here is if you have your account, don't lose your password.
Don't lose your password. Yeah,
No, because you're gonna be on the phone for 4 hours.
yeah,
Wow. Oh my goodness. See, so now I'm gonna procrastinate and not ever get it done.
yeah.
And
It's
I'll be
okay.
like,
It took me
later.
about a year for me to do. It took about a year for me to do mine again because I had
Yeah.
forgotten it.
Yeah, I was
So
wanting to do it last time, but I was like, I gotta call them. I'll do it later. But that is so cool. The other girl did mention that you can do it now online, so that's like a
yeah,
good thing too.
it's a lot easier. And like the best part about it is the way they don't do it like the application. Like you know how you have the printer application and they have it like it goes step by step. So You can literally go and it's word per word on the question that it asked you. You can go and check where that question is, and it reads the same way to what it does there, and then you just put all the information there,
Okay, guys.
and then that's it.
Just copy and paste.
Copy and paste. It's just it essentially what it is. Copy and
Right.
paste.
Save
Like
yourself
if you
that
have
lawyer
any,
fee.
yeah. Because the first time I paid $300 to the person that made the did it, and then the next time around, I'm like, I don't want to pay no $300
Yeah.
again. I'm like, I'll do it myself.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I'm like, I feel confident.
Look at you. Yes. I'm gonna go ahead and try maybe next year. Or you know what? Maybe not, because I would want it to like for sure get approved.
Yeah,
Especially with who's
well, you
coming
can
into
always.
office.
That is true. I was gonna say you can try. You can do like mock up ones.
Right? Like practice beforehand.
Like yeah, like
Yeah.
practice and then just double check so you can see what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
yeah, I actually they do have like a lot of YouTube videos where they show
Oh,
you how to do it
you know
too.
what? There's
So
a lot of people on TikTok. I've been seeing a couple girls, one in Las Vegas, and I don't know where I saw the other girl. They say that they do like I don't know if they do lives where they'll like tell you, like, okay, now fill out the next step and stuff like that.
maybe
Because
they do
they're trying to help people out. That way they don't have to pay, the lawyer fee.
the fee because
Yeah.
I mean I've been hearing some people they're like, oh yeah, I paid $1,000. I'm like
Guilty.
I'm like it's a
Yeah.
thousand dollars you could have used
I
for
know.
something else.
Literally. But I don't know.
You know.
I got lucky last year and I did it through it's like a human rights coalition in California. They're called Chirla. I don't know if they have it in
Yeah,
Florida. Yeah. So they
they used to I don't or maybe they're still around. I don't know. I do remember like in like the 2010s they were here, but now you hear more of United
okay.
over here than any other group for the most part.
Nice. Well, at least it's good to know that there's like, a group helping out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they're always trying to help out down here,
that's good.
especially since it's like I said, it's a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways,
Yeah.
you did it with
Through Chirla.
Chir
Yeah.
Chirla.
Yeah. And I didn't have to pay anything. They covered
So they did
the
everything.
yeah,
They covered the fee.
mhm. Yeah, they covered the application fee. So that was cool.
That I mean, well, didn't they update the prices
I think that just happened. Mine got approved.
beforehand?
Yeah. I think I just got it, yeah, before the price change, because I think that just happened like recently, no, like a few months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I got mine like at the
Uh,
beginning of the year.
I was gonna say if you do it online, it's a lot cheaper than doing it through paperwork.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Something else to learn.
Yeah, I think it was I want to say about $100 cheaper.
Oh, wow.
Like
Okay.
that extra fee. Yeah, yeah. So I do believe it was cheaper.
Okay. Well, if I can get it done through Trilla again next year, that will for sure motivate me. Save $100. Okay. Next question. Um, we talked about this a little bit where we said with Trump coming into office, he said that he wants to create a pathway for DACA recipients. He he actually like knew a lot about who DACA recipients are. He was saying how like, oh, they've been here all their life. They have families here. They have children now, even though they came as, we came as children. We've been here 30, 40 years. That he wants to do something for us. Do you believe him?
No,
No.
I don't believe him. I feel like they're doing the carrot and stick method again.
Yeah.
Like always telling us, "Oh, we're gonna do this," and then we don't get anything. I mean, the only reason we even got DACA is because they couldn't, Obama could not pass that immigration reform, you know. So like they're like, "Oh, you can't have residency or citizenship, but you can have this. We can give you this."
Right? It's like take it or leave it.
And even then, like not even a lot of like Democrat voters know what DACA is. Like every time I talk about DACA or VAWA or like the U visa or immigration in general, they don't tend to know much of it.
True. Very true.
So but to your question, I don't agree that he's gonna do anything for us. I agree he's gonna end up screwing us over even more.
I kind of feel that too because he's kind of like going like back and forth with what he's saying because he says that he wants to remove all immigrants, do the mass deportations and stuff, and then it kind of makes no sense that he wants to do something for dreamers.
Yeah, I think I think it's more like a tit for tat type of situation.
Yeah, true.
But a lot of the people are sorry, I had to go get my charger.
Oh my god, you're good.
A lot of the people are taking the bait.
Yeah,
They're taking the bait.
yeah. I feel
So
like we want to be kind of hopeful and be like,
yeah,
maybe
well
we'll see a light at the end of the tunnel.
the younger ones want to like I understand where their feelings are at
Yeah,
because that's how I felt during like the the immigration reform
yeah. When it came
the
out,
back in 2010, yeah, 2010, 2012. Like I was at that age. I was 20 or I was 18, 17, 18. So, I was at that young age. I'm like, "Oh, we're going to get something. Finally, we're going to get something." And it didn't happen. And like it become it like it felt even worse off, me talking to people who supposedly are part of you know, the Democratic Party, not just voters, but part of the Democratic Party, and they don't know what DACA is, or they don't understand it.
yeah, which makes no
So,
sense to me.
not at all.
Yeah.
But
What would be your hope to come with this new presidency that you would be like, this would be like the best case scenario for immigrants and DACA recipients?
I mean, my I'm gonna be truthful with the Trump administration. I feel like maybe the best case scenario is gonna be him not implementing any of the things, any of the issues, sending people away and whatnot, just leaving things how they are. I want to say that's best case scenario. I don't believe that there's going to be you know, a path of citizenship for DACA recipients, and you know, I hope that like he becomes a lame duck president these next 2 years, where he's not able to pass anything that he wants to pass. That's best case scenario,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
you know.
Yeah.
Um, I
What?
mean, worst. What? Go ahead.
No, go
Sorry.
ahead, finish.
I would say worst case scenario is that all of us get to go back to our home country and I guess start from scratch again. But we're gonna be free. That's the thing I tell people is like we're gonna be free. Like if they end up sending us like they said they are, we're gonna be free. Not only are we gonna be free, but we go back to our country with a lot more knowledge than when we left. You know, we're Mexico right now. The way Mexico is going, I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes a superpower. But
Right.
in the meantime, it needs a lot of engineers. It needs a lot of construction workers. It needs a lot of people bringing new ideas into Mexico and making Mexico a much better place than what it is.
Very true. Very good point. And then you can have your strawberry ice cream again.
Yes, yes. But this time I'll buy a couple more of those
Right? You're like,
because it
ah,
was. I mean, like I said, it was tiny,
tiny,
but
delicious.
it was delicious.
um, do you have any advice for fellow DACA recipients or anybody who's listening to this podcast? My hope that with this podcast that I wanted to start is that we can educate people on who we are and that we're bringing a lot to the table. Like we pay into the system, we bring billions of dollars into the economy, and for a lot of people, that voted for Trump and for his ideas, for his ideals, um, I would want them to see a face of who we are and how, you know, we we are just as American as everybody else. Because some of us have been here since we've been one, like your brother. He pretty much grew up here. He was raised here since he was one. You came when you were 7. So, do you have any advice for fellow dreamers or anyone who listens to take out of this?
Um, yeah, I would tell them to. I would tell them to try to not try to survive, but try to thrive, because that's what our parents brought us here to, for us to thrive and grow and mature, into better people than that we can become. Um, to a lot of the individuals that listen, I would say just be careful where you're at, be careful with what you do. I'm sure you've been in some of the DACA groups and you've seen some people, oh, can I renew with a DUI, or I did this or I did that. It's like take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves because at the beginning of the program there was close to one thing like 1.5 million individuals. There was 1.8 million that applied and only 1.5 got approved. And from those 1.5 million, there's close to 500,000 of us left.
Right? Isn't that insane? Less than half of us are off of it now.
So my thing is take care of yourselves. Take
Yes.
care take take care of your family. Um, whatever you do, look at the surroundings where you're at. You know, it it takes, you know, it takes one wrong decision and something that can happen in seconds for you to lose your whole life and then having to start essentially from zero. you know. Seek therapy,
Yeah.
like mental therapy.
Yeah, because there
Um,
is a lot of scared people out there.
individuals.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I've seen a lot of videos of people being scared or doing the self-deporting.
yeah.
Have you seen that?
I've seen that. I've had a couple friends that did that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing okay over
Yeah.
there, but they were people who had degrees and they could have gone and done a lot of good things for the U.S. and it just did not.
Yeah.
The U.S. didn't want them here.
That is like the saddest
So
part to hear that. Like that these children come here and they give it their all because they had degrees, they went all the way, they did everything correctly, and it still wasn't enough.
yeah, I agree with it. Uh, what else? Any like try to figure out any generational curses that you have or growing up, and telling yourself it wasn't your fault that you're here in this country,
Yeah.
and don't feel yourself to don't blame yourself about it either,
True. Yes.
because a lot of us do blame ourselves, even though they don't how can I say it? I don't know, I lost my train of thought, but
Just
yeah, just just
seek help,
just be yourselves,
stay
seek help.
hyper vigilant, like always be aware of your surroundings.
Yes, if like say you go out to drink, leave your car there, go get yourself an
Right.
Uber.
Yes. Yeah.
I've gone and translated for people who didn't speak any English to DUI classes, and they're expensive. You know, it's you're gonna be spending about $20,000.
Yeah.
And if you have DACA, it's even more because now not only now you have to get an immigration lawyer, now you have to go and get a a traffic lawyer too.
Oh,
So now you're
wow.
paying double the fee,
Yeah.
a criminal lawyer.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have to be like on your best behavior. You can't get a
Yeah,
ticket for
yeah,
anything while you're on DACA because they do those background checks.
yeah,
Yeah. And they ask you, like, they want to know everything that you've done in those 2 years if it's different from the previous years.
yeah. No, they want to know,
Yeah.
and it's like just be in your best behavior. I'm not
Right.
saying to be like a white person,
Yeah. Yeah.
but at the same time, be be yourself.
Right.
Be yourself.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and
So
learn
true.
Spanish.
Oh my
especially if
God.
they
En
de- if,
serio.
especially if they deport us. If they deport us, you gotta learn the language because there's a lot of slang. Even when I was over there and I'm
Yeah.
fluent with Spanish, just being over there, it was a little harder for me to
Really?
understand.
There were some
Yeah,
words that you were like, hold on. ¿Qué dijiste?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, there was.
Like
Not only
what? Like,
that,
do you
you.
remember some? Where you like, oh my God, this word really threw me off.
Yeah, like no, I can't remember any.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you though is that a lot of the Spanish now has like Gen Z or Gen Alpha like slang, and I'm just looking at myself. I'm like, what are you talking about in my head?
Yeah.
And then there's me who knows Spanish from 25 years ago, so I'm using slang from like 25 years ago, and
Yes.
they just look at me. They're like, we don't say that
Oh
anymore.
my God.
I'm like, oh, because you also got to realize, like, our parents came over here, right?
Yeah.
They
True.
left with the Spanish that they knew from that time.
Yes. That is true. Yes. We have to
So
acclimate now
like
to the new culture down there.
we
Yeah.
do. It's like have you ever seen the show TV show The Last OG?
You know what? No.
You
Okay.
should watch it
I'm
because
gonna write that down.
it's essentially a OG, somebody that used to sell drugs. It's a comedy. He came out of jail, and he's going back to the Bronx, or what was it? Not the Bronx, Brooklyn.
Okay.
And he didn't realize that, like, the last 15 years that he was inside jail, that everything changed. So
Okay.
it's not the gritty city that he knew. Now it's, like, white people moved in there, and they've you know
Okay.
it,
I'm gonna
it's
look it up.
changed.
Sounds like
Yeah,
it's
it's
gonna be
like
good.
that.
Yeah.
It's like a blast from the past.
Okay.
And like, you're a caveman, you're from the 1800s,
Yeah.
and then you come to the 2000s, you're like, what is this?
Right.
So that's I mean, I think that's all the advice I can give. uh
I love it. I
and
love it
stay
because you
positive.
know what? Even though we are a little scared of what's going on or what you know we're living kind of in a little uncertainty because we don't know what to expect when he steps into office. But still, just live your life is what I'm getting from you. Still, thrive to be better. Don't be scared to don't be like, oh, like I don't want to pursue something because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to be here for it or not. Like, still just go out there, be you, and follow
Yeah,
whatever it is you want to do. Like, don't be scared.
yeah, just go for it. I mean, you got to think about it like this. So, like, a lot of our ancestors had to deal with, like, the Spaniards coming, and then smallpox and all these new diseases. You know, many of us lost our indigenous side of culture. We're trying to find it again.
Yes.
But, if you start looking at it, our ancestors were astronomers. Our ancestors were, like, we had, like, the like, where I'm from, a lot of the Mexicas had bathhouses. We had running water. We had aqueducts. We had, everybody learned. Everybody, like, we had mathematicians. Like I said, we have astronomers. We had a lot of things, and they survived and they thrived. And we came from those people. So shouldn't we have that ability to thrive in places that people shouldn't be thriving, you know?
Great advice.
Like
Yes.
like we're coming back. We're like, it's our turn. Our ancestors gave up their lives, they got sick, they didn't make it, but we did. And we're those seats, and it's our turn to go and live like they did, you know, and thrive,
I love it.
and show people that we're here, that we are
Yes.
here, and we're not here just for our skills. We're here as individuals, as human beings.
Yes. So true.
So yeah,
I love it. That is like the perfect ending. Thrive, guys.
thrive.
Yes. Let's
Yes.
not live in fear for the next 4 years and let's keep on living and let's keep on thriving.
Then yeah, and, like, if somebody needs help or somebody falls down, we help, everybody helps them help them stand up, and we just keep moving.
Yes.
We keep moving forward.
Yeah.
But we, first we got to learn to unite, and
I love it. And Edmundo, you're already doing a lot of that work. So I love that about you. And I love that you're um, helping people out and, using your time to spread positivity and help a lot of us out. I love that. That's amazing.
yeah, thank you.
Of
And
course.
I appreciate you doing this podcast, so like a lot of people can see a difference in of what's happening, because there's I mean, you got to remember, everybody has a different perspective since they live in a different part of the US.
Yeah,
So
for sure. I learned so much.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that I got to teach a little bit about something.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. I was taking notes. This was like class. I love it. Thank you again, Edmundo. You guys go and follow him on TikTok if you want to share your TikTok handle or your Instagram handle, your Facebook group that you have where you inform about
um
immigration and stuff.
well, I now I do well, the Facebook group is usually like the majority, like other groups that people have made, like the DACA, any DACA group, I'm usually in there, or I try to tell people. And then, I mean, you guys can go follow me. I don't tend to post a lot of I tend to do a lot of reposting than more than anything. Um, my handle is Mass Docelot, and it's the same thing,
On
same thing on
Instagram?
Instagram.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go and follow you and tag you.
All right.
Love it.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Thank you so much for taking the time and coming on and trusting me to tell your story.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. And like I
Yes.
said, I hope it really helps other people out.
Yes. Yes. We hope that we can spread, awareness and put a face to us dreamers out there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you.
Same here.
Thank you. And I will
I
talk
really
to you
appreciate
next time.
being here.
Yay.
All right.
I'll see you
Bye.
next time. Bye.